Oh, good morning, my Teaserking family. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has a good day. I picked up 4 locks this weekend. I got 1 lock going today. So it should be a big week. I do have the college uh, for each conference, who needs the game. And then I have gold and silver. It was interesting. Last night I'm looking at gold and I see this. No, I see this. So I took a print screen and it shows gold at 41.47, but then it says market closed. And I'm thinking, well, the US might be closed for Thanksgiving, but not Europe, and certainly not China. What do they care about Thanksgiving? So I was a little surprised. I was saying, oh, maybe they're going to reset it over the holiday. You know how that goes. But then we get this morning and everything looks normal as far as activity. So we're at 41.56, silver at 53.28. So everything looks fairly normal to me. So I don't know what that market close meant. I could see it for Thanksgiving, but look, I don't understand who's doing it now. Nobody's at these, maybe they use hedge funds or whatever, the pensions, but there's nobody working today. The banks are closed. So not sure what this is, but we'll take 41.56. It's not really sliding. We had a 41.66 and then a 41.50. So now it seems to be in this range, and then we'll plow into the 42s and 43s. Silver 53.27. So it got back over 50. It got back over. Now it's 53 on its way to 100. There is an Andy Scheckman thing, which we'll get to after football, where he's saying they're out of silver. China doesn't have silver. India doesn't have silver. U.S. Nobody has silver. London's out. There's a little bit for the ETFs, which aren't real. That's bullshit. So there is no silver. So again, this is where the reason COMEX is still open is so somebody can buy that. You cannot buy this. Like if you're China, you're not buying this at 53.27. You're probably paying $75 an ounce for it, and they're buying a lot of dory. So they're going to the mine and getting the silver at an early stage, and then they'll refine it. So it comes out of the ground silver, then they kind of dory it, and then they refine it into the silver bars or coins that you see. And that's kind of how it works. So that's why if you're buying miners, well, first of all, the market's going to crash. But secondly, if you're buying miners, you got to be out of your mind because they're not going to have inventory. China's pulling the silver, pulling the gold right from the mines because you can't get it here. There is no physical in this anymore. So that's why I say get the hell out of it. Stay out of it. All right. Let me do a quick. So I wished Daria a happy Thanksgiving, even though it's Russia. It's pretty funny. So I was at the pool. I decided to go to the pool first and not do my walk. And then I think what I'll do is I can walk after the Lions game. Between games, I can just take a quick walk. I thought that was better than my normal routine. All right, so let's get into it. Looking at, so gold and silver, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on. It's a holiday. Again, it's still live, 41.56. But when I show you the Andy Scheckman, now we don't really, Andy Scheckman doesn't get it. He says, well, they're not keeping the price down. Yes, this is exactly what they're doing. But what he doesn't get is he thinks it's U.S. It's the whole world. China gets theirs, Europe gets theirs, and we get ours. So it's one person can't hold it down. All right, let's go to football. 4 locks going, and I probably have more because I'm just kind of focused on, like Tuesday, I was focusing on the Thursday games and the Friday games. There's still a shitload of Saturdays. I have locked some Friday games. I've locked today's one of today's games, Saturday's games. One note in the Lions game, the center's out, the backup tight end's out. So look for Micah Parsons to have a big day here. Let's go through the line. We've got Detroit 3, 48.5. We got Dallas 3.5, 52.5. We got Baltimore 7.5, 51.5. We've got Philadelphia 7, 44.5 against the Bears off of a loss, and Philly. We got the Rams 10.5, 45 over Carolina. I don't think Carolina's that bad. I think it's a big number. Tampa 3, 44 over Arizona. We got Atlanta 2.5, 39.5 over the JETSs. We've got Miami 5.5, 41.5 over New Orleans. We've got Indy 4, 44.5 over Houston, and what should be a good game. Jacksonville 6, 41.5 over Tennessee, which should be a shit game. The Niners go to Cleveland. It's 5, it's 37. You're going to have winds. The wind died down a little here. It's not as cold, but still cold. You assume the weather moved on, I guess, to Cleveland, but I guess it's not moving to Baltimore, and I'm not sure if it's going to move to Pittsburgh or to New York. So Cleveland 5, 36.5. You got primetime junior quarterback. Jesus Christ. All right, Seattle 11.5, 41 to Minnesota. They're starting Browsmer from the University of Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy got a concussion, supposedly. Who knows? He had a bad ankle, supposedly, also. They're realizing the guy can't play. So what do? They don't want to keep losing. Oakland goes to San Diego. San Diego 10-41. Oakland's in big trouble. Buffalo goes to Pitt, 3.5, 46.5. Not too bad, the weather. I'll check if Aaron Rodgers is playing. Denver goes to Washington. Denver 5.5, 43.5. No Jalen Daniels. I don't get this line. And the Giants go to New England. New England 7.5, 46.5. And the way the Giants look against the Lions, either the Lions really suck or the Giants have a good offense. So let's look. Is Aaron Rodgers playing? Let's see if it gives us an update here. And it might not yet because the game's Sunday. And again, we're only at Thursday, which we probably would know. Rodgers jokes about legacy and praises Josh, whatever. Aaron Rodgers cryptic comments versus Bills raise the Steelers. Wide receiver dealing with shoulder in the Steelers. Bills injury report. DK Metcalf doesn't practice. I don't care if they don't practice during the week. Steelers, Bills injury report. For the Steelers, defensive lineman Derek Herman and offensive lineman were both not. See, it doesn't mean anything. They're just taking a break. That doesn't mean everybody plays Sunday if you can walk. So I'm not buying because they didn't practice. I don't care about that. DK Metcalf has an ankle. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers left, and wide receiver also did not participate in practice. That doesn't help me if they're playing. So I don't think we know yet on Aaron Rodgers. I can't imagine he doesn't play. It's a must-win game for him. They're tied with Baltimore now. If he can play, he's playing. Just left wrist did not play. So we don't care about practice. Do not practice does not mean anything about the injury. So I think that's something we'll have to address tomorrow. We just don't know. We assume, looking at the line, we've got Buffalo 3.5, I think, or did it move? Let's see. What do we got here? Baltimore, Buffalo. Yeah, 3.5, 46.5. So it hasn't changed. If it goes to 5, he's not playing. If it stays at 3.5, he is. I assume this is he's playing. That's the line we have. Anyway, people upstairs are like noisy and the dog barking, but hopefully they're leaving. Peace and quiet for the professor. I need peace and quiet. All right. So that's pros. I played all 3 games today. One of them's a lock of the one game. The new trend. So Green Bay. So this is the stats for the last 5. Green Bay is a B team with a 15. Detroit's an over team with a 22. KC's a B team with an 18, and Dallas is an over with a 27, I think. Cincinnati's an over team with a 36 defense. Baltimore's an over team. Now, it's a 15 defense, but I don't buy it because of who they played. When you look at the teams, the Jets, Miami, the Bears, a couple of bad teams. I think there was one without the quarterback. So I don't buy it. So I'm using the full season because they played Buffalo and Detroit and Kansas City, where, it's more realistic, right? So you had all these good teams, and now you got all these bad teams. So you can't just take the 5 bad teams. So I got to take the whole sweep. And so they're really a 24 defense. Burrow and Chase are playing. As far as I know, Lamar is playing. And so that should be fine. Tomorrow, the Bears are an over team with the 27 defense, and here's Philly, a B team with the 17 defense now. And they did beat the Lions and give up 9 points. And basically, this is your free play. Take Philly -1 is your free play. I think they're still 7. Yeah, they're still 7, 44.5. I looked at the over because the Bears are an over team, but a little bit of wind and Philly off of the loss -1 against really the Bears. They've had such a weak schedule that they could be a very good team. If they are, they'll have to win this game. Denver won at Philly, one of the few. So everybody hates Denver. I don't like it. They won at Philly, okay? Nobody else did. So anyway, the Rams an A team with a 15 defense now. And Carolina's an under team with a 23. Arizona a W with a 31, and Tampa a W with a 26. Now, Tampa's fallen. They're not scoring. Now, part of it might be the schedule, but all the injuries. I mean, Ibaka's good. Godwin, I thought, came back, but they're still not scoring. Look at the Ram game last week, 34-9 or whatever. So they're a 26 defense, Arizona 31. Is it an over game? I still got Baker. Maybe you take Tampa, +3. It's Arizona. Atlanta, an under team with a 23 defense. They just don't score. They got a terrible offensive coordinator, and with Kirk Cousins, forget it. And the Jets is an under team with a 24 defense. So their defense is getting better. And we saw they did play Baltimore, so not too bad. And it's the defensive coordinator for the Lions, so they're going to have a better defense he'll put in. New Orleans, a Z team with the 22 defense, I think. Yeah, 22. And Miami, an under team with a 19 defense. So even though they played Baltimore, their defense is getting better. Houston, an under team with a 19. They got the number 2 defense. The number 1 is the Rams with the 15. Indy, an A team with a 22 defense. This should be, I don't know. There's 2 ways to play this. I think Houston is a live dog with the defense. Stroud's supposed to be back, or as I play most times, Houston under, which wins 9 out of 10 for me. Jacksonville, an E team with the 26 defense, and Tennessee is a Z team with the 28 defense. So possibly you're getting points. I see Tennessee go on 4th down all the time. Cam Ward is running a little bit more than he should, but he's running. He still doesn't know what he's doing. He still shouldn't be in the league. The Niners, 5.5 and 38. I think this was down. It's 37 now. Very windy there. I'm going to go through the weather right after I finish this. Uh, so the Niners are 5.5, 37. They're five actually, and 37. They're a B team with a 22 defense. Cleveland an under team with a good defense. So Cleveland's your basic great under team. If Cleveland plays Houston, it's an under bet. It's a lock. So here you got Cleveland 37 with the win. The Niners defense pretty good. Purdy, all these interceptions. But you got McCaffrey, you got Kittle, and I think you got Ayuk back. So they're playing very well. Minnesota, a W team now with a 27 defense. So we always think of Minnesota as this great defensive team. I don't know where it went. It's 27 now. And Seattle's an A team with a 20. The quarterback is Max Browsmer from the University of Minnesota. He's probably a free agent. McCartney, they can't stand anymore. And I guess Wentz is injured. So it leaves you're starting a college quarterback who kind of sucked in college. So if Minnesota scores, I'll be shocked. Seattle, really good defense. A bit of a big line, 41 total. Maybe it's an under. Again, you don't have the quarterbacks to get it over. Oakland, San Diego. Oakland, a Z team, 25 defense. San Diego, an under team with a 22. The last five really didn't change. Sometimes you get a big change like we did in what was that? Arizona was a 26, goes to a 31. But most of I'd say about half the teams, it didn't change. You look at the last five, it might be a point different on offense and on defense. So I'm not changing it for that. Let's see. So Oakland, San Diego, Oakland Z team 25. Gentry's back. Brock Bowers. I think Mayock is Mike, the tight end, is the Notre Dame guy. I think he's questionable. San Diego, I don't know which team is which. I mean, Harbaugh is confusing the hell out of me. 22 defense sometimes it's a 32 defense. Herbert, a lot of picks. Oakland should not score a lot in this game. They couldn't score on Cleveland. Cleveland's got Myles Garrett, so I can understand that. Buffalo, Pittsburgh. Buffalo, B team, 23. Pitt, an over team with the 25. We'll check the weather there. I think it's a little bit of wind. If Rodgers plays, then I think Pitt's a live dog. I mean, Buffalo, they're good in Buffalo. They're not good out as a road favorite. Denver, B team, 18 defense. Washington's now a Z team with the 34. They jumped from a 27 defense to a 34 defense. And that spread is now 5.5, down from that. It's probably still 6. This is your free play. Take Denver even or plus a half over Washington because Washington's a Z team now. They got Mariota. As far as I know, Daniels isn't back. They got a 34 defense, and Denver's got an 18 defense. Bo Nix is good enough. They'll probably run it down their throats, and Washington really can't stop them. So, I mean, even if they play a bit Denver even, the spread should be at least 10 points. Where are they getting up with a 5? All right. We'll check the weather here. And then New England and the Giants. The Giants are showing an offense. Their defense, they're now an E team with a 32 defense. New England's an A team with a 19 defense. The Giants, I don't know. They went to Detroit, and Winston almost looked like a quarterback. It's like Daniel Jones. It's like, they suck, and Darnell, they all suck, but they're getting some points there. So total 46.5. The Giants are scoring, can't stop the wind. That's the problem with Detroit today. They couldn't stop Winston. Not that Love's much better, but Jesus. New England, I think they got their left tackles out, and I don't know how much that hurts. It depends how good the backup is. So as I said, the Lions center is out. Their safety's out. And their backup tight ends out. So both tight ends are out for the Lions today. So be careful there. Teaser trends. Green Bay 12-1 is a road dog. Enough said. Play against Dallas as a home favorite, 8-1. Play against Cincinnati this year, 10-1. But Now Joe Burrow's back. Philadelphia, 19-4 is a home favorite. Play against them this year's 10-1, but you can still play them. They win by 10. They bet against you one, but you played them. And I have this as a free play also, so maybe I have two free plays. I don't know, but I'll give you that too. Philadelphia free play, take Philly minus the 1. Play against the Bears as a road dog, 5-0. So Philly 19-4 is a home favorite, and the Bears are a weak road dog. Hence why I'm giving the free pick of Philadelphia. The Rams 10-0 is a road favorite, 10-1 this year. They're minus 10 at Carolina. Arizona Tampa play against Arizona 10-1. Again, these are in a teaser, 6-point teasers. Atlanta play against as a road favorite, 8-1. Play against the Jets, 24-4. So this is a good game. Play against New Orleans, Miami. Play against New Orleans as a road dog, 11-2. Play against them 9-1. Basically, they're the worst team in the league with Tennessee, Carolina, and a few Miami. Houston, 8-0 on the road this year, 27-3 in a teaser the last 2 years. Play against Indy, 23-5, but that's mostly last year. And Houston is 11-0 in a teaser this year, and we had them against Buffalo, and they won for us. Good boys. Stroud should be back, which I don't know if that's good or bad. Indy 11-1 is a home favorite, 23-5 in a teaser, and 10-1 this year. So this should be a brawl. This should be a close, field goal type of game. Play against Tennessee is a home dog against Jacksonville, 8-1. I didn't have much on the next few games. And then we go down to Denver, 27-2 in a teaser, 11-0 this year. Play against Washington as a home dog, 8-1. The Giants in New England play against the Giants as a road dog, 7-0. And New England is 11-1 in the teaser this year. So the big teaser plays are the Rams, Philly, New England, Indy, Houston, and Denver. Forget about anything else. Just go, Houston hasn't lost in a teaser. Denver's very strong. Indy, and that's it. So they're not fixing their games is what it means. The play against Cincinnati, Arizona, Philadelphia, the Jets, New Orleans, and Tennessee. And you can see they're all the shit teams, except for some reason Philadelphia's in there. They must be because they won the Super Bowl a little flat and a little overinflated. Like they were the road favorite to Kansas City. So if you played against them, you won with KC, even though Philly won the game. So it's a lot of that. Cincinnati gets Burrow back. Arizona, just, very weak. The Jets, what can you say? New Orleans, what can you say? In Tennessee, all the new shit quarterbacks, they don't know what to do. Mr. Profit Margin, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. Have you ever gone to a Lions game on Thanksgiving? Yes, I have. I think I said that yesterday. My mom's friend owned a steel company. And so only on Thanksgiving, he would take us with him, and he had like 10 tickets. So me and my dad, some other person and their son, and then him and his son, I think. There might have been another person or two, but basically we would go on Thanksgiving. This is back in the 70s, 68, 69, 70, the early 70s, we would go. I remember the Raider game we went to, and the Raiders had a 14-0 lead, and then, okay, they're going to win. And then the Lions won 28-14. So, yeah, I did go. It was fun. I didn't have to pay, but it was in Tiger Stadium, which made it very special. And that was it. So a few years in the late 60s, early 70s, we did go. So that was, that was, it's kind of unique going on at Thanksgiving, but that's when you didn't, the games would be blacked out if they didn't sell enough. So you're not really seeing it. So we'd go, and it'd be the holiday, no school, go to a football game. So it was a really fun time. Where did the Lions play before the Silverdome? They were at Tiger Stadium. So they played at Tiger Stadium, the 50s and the 60s, outdoors, and then they go into the Silverdome and they crap the bed there. And now they're at Ford Field crapping the bed. And I don't know. See, now it would be what, $500 a ticket for Thanksgiving? I don't think what they're doing is wrong. So, in other words, the bigger games they charge more. So because this is Thanksgiving, it's probably 500 a ticket. Now, when they play the Bears, it's probably 200 a ticket. So that's okay. I mean, that's just good business. I used to do that. My brother went to U of M, and I'd get like student tickets. It was like $25 for the whole roll, and then I'd sell my Ohio State ticket for like $50. And instead of going to the game, it was always on TV. And but I went to the other games, and it was like $2, $3 a game. Now I don't know if the students can afford it. All right. So that's your games. Let's go to the I think we can go to the injuries right here. All right, yeah, injuries. All right. View all. So I can get today's injuries here. Let's see. Nobody I can I mean, they give you everything. They give you way too much. Matthew Golden's out with the wrist. Jaden Reed is on injured reserve. Nate Hobbs, cornerback's out. Lucas Van Este, lineman's out. And Quay Walker, my guy from Georgia's out. So there's a few defensive players out, but fortunately, Micah Parsons is playing. The Lions, let's see. I mean, Sam Laporta, injured reserve back. If I do it this way, I get the injured reserve guys. Let's see. Frank Ragnow, the center, is coming back, but not yet. I think he won't come back next week. I think he comes back against the Rams. If I was him, I would ask for a whole lot of money. Let's see. Graham Glasgow is the center, is out with the knee. Khalif Raymond, a backup receiver's out. Brock Wright, the backup tight end's out. Josh Paschal, defensive end's out. And Kirby Joseph, the good safety, is out. Let's see. KC and Dallas. I won't go through all the players. Is George Pickens playing on Thanksgiving? Huh. Didn't know he was hurt. Chiefs, really nobody. A guard, a corner. Cowboys. Miles Sanders. We know that. So KC. Nobody really important for KC. Dallas. So what's with this George Pickens thing? Trevion Diggs is on injured reserve, the cornerback. Miles Sanders, injured reserve. I don't know. It didn't say anything about the one guy. And then if we go to Cincinnati, Baltimore, we know Burrow's back. We know Chase is back. And we know T. Higgins is out. We don't really care about T. Higgins. He ain't seeing the ball anyway today. Chase will have 25 catches. Trey Hendrickson is out. Let's see. Cam Taylor-Britt, cornerback, out. This is Cincinnati. Zach Moss, running back, out. Tajay Brooks is out with a concussion. Trey Hendrickson's out with the hip. T. Higgins out with a concussion. Boy, these guys and their concussions, they are scared of lawsuits. You'd never have people out for concussions before. Baltimore. Let's see. I'm only looking at big names. Let's see. They're pretty healthy defensive wise. Those guys that have been out are playing, so really we're just missing T. Higgins. I'm going to go to the other news. They go through injuries a little bit better. But again, it's a little early because of it's only really Thursday. NFL injury tracker. Jackson Dart, Baker Mayfield worked toward returning in week 13. I didn't know Baker Mayfield was out. So that's a big difference if he's out. They traded my guy Kyle Kyle Trask. They traded him, so now they need a quarterback. If Baker's not there, they don't have it. Jackson Dart is returning for the Giants as he was in there. I don't know. I'd probably go with Winston. Everybody's bitching. Why is Joe Burrow coming back? Why is Dart coming? Why is Dart even playing? He doesn't know what he's doing. Jameson Winston, so he's also taking snaps. He doesn't need it as much. Baker Mayfield works his way back from a shoulder sprain. Both he and Teddy Bridgewater will see reps in practice. Bridgewater will get the majority of the first team work as the team waits to see how Mayfield feels. So it looks like it's Bridgewater probably. He says it's a pain tolerance thing, so it's pretty beat up. Patriots will be without rookie left tackle Will Campbell, who will miss the next 4 games on IR. Atlanta Drake London is unlikely to play Sunday against the Jets's. And you already have Penix out. Jordan Love is dealing with a shoulder injury that he says he will continue to play through. The quarterback picked up the injury during their Week 11 win over the Giants. During running plays last week against the Vikings, Love used only his right hand to hand the ball off. So it's his left arm, I guess, that's hurt. He doesn't feel limited in what he can do. It's one of those things where I'm able to play through it. Love said, obviously, anytime you take a hit, fall on it, you feel it, but nothing that is holding me back from playing. J.J. McCarthy remains in concussion protocol probably for the rest of the year. And they're going to go to rookie quarterback Max Brosmer against Sam Darnold. McCartney reported concussion symptoms on the flight back following the loss to the Packers. And he'll be there the rest of the year probably. So we already went through Green Bay and Detroit, Kansas City and Dallas and Cincinnati. We know Hendrickson and Higgins are out. Baltimore, defensive tackle Tavion Bryant and running back Justin. Okay, and they haven't updated it because it's Thursday. So that's as far as we know. Let's quickly go through the weather. Now, it's not as windy here as it's been, and we don't care about like the Lion game because they're in a dome. So you got a lot of domes. Don't care Detroit. We don't care about Dallas. Baltimore, 36 and clear, 9-mile-an-hour winds. So that's not going to affect the game. Tomorrow, Philadelphia, 37, slight chance of rain, 14-mile-an-hour winds roughly. Now, Philadelphia, they're more defense and run the ball. It might hurt the Bears more, who do all this fancy dancy throwing, but I think it's not going to have too big of an effect. I don't know when the wind really bothers and how bad the wind is on the field versus you're in a stadium. The wind's over the stadium, right? The wind isn't coming into the stadium, maybe a little bit, but hard to say. 49ers at Cleveland, 34 degrees, likely rain, 17-mile-an-hour wind. So we're getting not as much cold as I would have thought, but we are getting windy day and rain, likely rain. So could affect the total. Jacksonville at Tennessee, 43, chance of rain, 12-mile-an-hour. So no effect. Indies in a dome. New Orleans, Miami, 75, maybe thunderstorms, 12-mile-an-hour wind. Nothing there unless we get big thunderstorms. The Atlanta at the JETS's, 39, chance of rain, 5-mile-an-hour wind. So really no weather there. Arizona, Tampa, 80 degrees, slight chance of rain, 7 miles an hour. No real weather in Tampa. The Rams at Carolina, 48, chance of rain, 5 miles. So I don't see any weather really. Maybe the Cleveland game a little bit. Minnesota, Seattle, slight chance of rain, 2-mile-an-hour winds, 48 degrees. So no wind, no weather there. Here's the game I'm curious. Pittsburgh, Buffalo at Pitt, 35 degrees, slight chance of rain, 11-mile-an-hour winds. Really nothing there that should affect the game. And our last game, San Diego, Oakland is in San Diego in a dome, and Denver goes to Washington, 42, a chance of rain and 6-mile-an-hour. So really no weather there. I love how they all have a chance of rain. Yeah, I guess every day there's a chance it could rain. And our last game is Giants at New England, 31 and 5-mile-an-hour winds and clouds. There is no weather game. Maybe the 49er. Let me dig into the 49er at Cleveland on the lake. I don't know where the wind from here went because it was very windy yesterday. So to hear it just die down, I don't know. I can see it popping up in Cleveland on Sunday, but rain and snow likely. Cloudy with a low around 27. Chance of rain 60%. New snow accumulation of less than a half an inch possible. So it's not the snow. So you're dealing 27, chance of snow. The winds roughly 17 mile an hour. Rain and snow likely 34 degrees down to 27. And this is a 1 o'clock game. So you're getting the better weather at 1 o'clock, middle of the day versus 10 o'clock at night or versus, 8 in the morning. Yesterday I walked at 9. It was freezing out. All right. I like going to the pool early. I now eat it, but it's 12:30. All right. Any questions on the NFL? Prophet, good morning. Greg and John, happy Thanksgiving to you. Prophet, just for the fun of it, I checked the price of a floor seat to an upcoming Laker game at $24K. Are you in LA now, Prophet, with your fiance and all your gold? Is your gold like with you or still where you used to live? Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Well, I bet they didn't charge Jack Nicholson either. But you'd watch the game just to see Jack Nicholson bothering the coach. Anyway, happy Canadian Thanksgiving to you, Prophet. You're still in Egypt. When is it coming? So you'll have to tell me what your plans are then. If you're in LA, is it coming to LA then? Which would make more sense than coming to you and then you ship it to LA. But my guy will not 1099 you. So if you need to sell any of it, It's the only problem with bars. You just need a few ounces. Maybe you cut the bar in half. I don't know, but we can talk about that. All right, so that's your weather. All right, I found this tiebreaker. So this is on MSN. It's basically talks about who needs the games in college. So in the ACC scenario, Virginia and SMU can each wrap up a spot in the ACC championship game with a win this week. Pitt can make it with a win and a loss by one of the other, but they have to beat Miami. The two lost teams have to hope to get into a tiebreaker in some sort. So it really doesn't help Miami. They have two losses. So Virginia wins, SMU wins, that they're in, Pitt wins, and one of them loses and Pitt's in. So it's good. It's good information. Outlook, North Texas has a head-to-head tiebreaker over Navy after beating the Midshipmen. But in a multi-way tie, head-to-head might not apply if all teams involved didn't face each other. So this is the American AAC, the North Texas. There's North Texas, Tulane, Navy, South Florida, and East Carolina all available. After head-to-head, the first tiebreaker is CFP ranking, and only Tulane was in the last week. North Texas is better than Tulane. Keep an eye on the committee next release. However, any team that loses this week cannot benefit from the tiebreaker. So basically, North Texas has to win. If we look at the one-team losses, North Texas, Tulane, and Navy are basically who you think. South Florida, good team. They're 5-2, and East Carolina, but it's not like like North Texas winning, they're in, and probably Tulane. Let's see. Yeah, they're all available, but really it's North Texas and Tulane because North Texas beat Navy, and then Navy's got Army anyway. All right. Big 12. It's basically Texas Tech 7-1, BYU 7-1, Utah and Arizona State, Utah at Kansas. So Outlook, Texas Tech and BYU can each clinch a spot in the title game by winning this week. They would also both be in if Arizona State loses, and both of the teams beat Utah. So that's why Utah can only make it with a win, a loss by Texas Tech, and wins by BYU and Arizona State. That would create a three-way tie for the second spot in which Utah would prevail. So Utah must have beat Arizona State. I know they lost to BYU and Texas Tech. So it's more likely Texas Tech and BYU, they're big favorites, handle business. Arizona State can make it with a win and a loss by BYU. Arizona State plays first. They're playing tomorrow, and then BYU plays Saturday. So Arizona is 1.5 over Arizona State. Even without Leavitt, the backup quarterback's doing okay. We'd rather have Leavitt, but okay. It's better to wait until we're settled. Yeah. Well, you really don't want to start shipping gold around twice, especially as it's getting more and more expensive. But good luck getting it from Egypt. I wouldn't wait too much longer on it. Who knows what the U.S. does, but just be careful as the gold price goes. The Big Ten, Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, and Michigan. Now, this is really strange. If Ohio State beats Michigan, the Buckeyes face Indiana in the title game. This is true even if the Hoosiers lose to Washington. Well, they're playing Purdue because Indiana would win a tiebreaker with Oregon for the second slot. So it's Ohio State wins, Ohio State, Indiana. However, if Michigan wins and Indiana and Oregon both win, the title game would be Indiana-Oregon. Oregon's not necessarily, they're laying 7 at Washington. It's not an easy game, especially after beating USC. Indiana should win. So if Michigan wins, And now here, if Michigan beats Ohio State, Indiana wins, and Oregon loses, which is most likely if Michigan can win, the title game would be Indiana-Michigan. So how does Michigan enter into this? Ohio State loses, they're not even in their own title game. It's crazy. If Michigan beats Ohio State, Oregon wins, and Indiana loses, the title would be Michigan-Oregon. If Michigan wins and Oregon and Indiana both lose, the title would be Michigan-Ohio State. Well, that ain't going to happen. Most likely, Indiana is going to win. Oregon could lose. And then the question is, can Ohio State beat Michigan? This would be weird for Michigan to win, playing the Big Ten title game against Indiana, get their ass kicked. And here's Ohio State, who didn't even get in their own title game. Well, they won't be ranked number one if they lose to Michigan, but they'll be in the playoffs. So it's a real strange thing. Conference USA, Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, Kennesaw State, and Liberty. The Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State winner clinches a spot in the title game and will host. Kennesaw State clinches a spot with a win. All right, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. MAC, the Toledo plays Central Michigan. The loser is out. That's the easy part. And Western Michigan is in with the win. Western Michigan has won 31-21. So you got Western Michigan winning. Toledo, Central Michigan is the loser's out. The other game, Ohio at Buffalo, Ball State at Miami, and Toledo Central. So Western Michigan, Ohio, Miami of Ohio, and Toledo all win. That would create a three-way tie for the second title spot, and Miami would prevail based on record versus common opponents. This may be a part of the reason Toledo's odds are that. So basically, like you want to bet like the Miami of Ohio, they're playing Ball State, the Z team. They're laying 17. Central Toledo, Toledo's 10. You have Ohio Buffalo is tomorrow. Ohio's 7. So they all have to win, which is what you want to bet on, right? Mountain West, San Diego State, Boise State, Vegas, New Mexico, Hawaii, and Fresno State, and Utah State. So half the league's still in. This could end in a 4-way tie for first and even a 6-way tie for second. If San Diego State, Boise, and Vegas all win, San Diego State would face Boise State for the title, thanks to Boise's head-to-head win over Vegas. Boise, I think, Boise plays Utah State tomorrow. So obviously Boise has to win. San Diego State is they're playing tomorrow against New Mexico. So you can see where those are big games because now they need it for their titles. And that's the extra spice that we get. It's not just a regular week. It's they win for the title, which is what they all play for. Or at least I think so. The SEC. A&M 7-0, Georgia 7-1, Old Mississippi 6-1, Old Alabama, fucking Bama 6-1. So A&M's in the championship game if they win, but the Aggies are vulnerable if they lose because they play a weak in-conference schedule, and that tiebreaker could come back to haunt them. If Texas A&M loses, which they could, it would still make the title game if both Alabama and Mississippi lose, which is not going to happen. Alabama is in with the win and out with the loss, so we're looking at Alabama. Georgia's in if either Alabama or Texas A&M loses. I think A&M probably loses. I don't see Alabama losing to Auburn. Mississippi is in with a win, and both Alabama and A&M lose. So Mississippi's not getting in there. A&M might lose, but not Alabama. So basically, it's you bet on Alabama. Georgia's playing Georgia Tech, doesn't matter. Ole Miss is in with the win. They play first. So Ole Miss is going to beat Old Mississippi State. But then you got Texas, A&M, and Texas. So these are Fridays. Fucking Bama Saturday, but they win and they're in. They don't have to worry about it. All right, Sun Belt James Madison, 7-0, is already clinched. The East, the South, Southern Mississippi and Troy are tied, so they play each other, and the winner comes in. So we like our Southern Miss. They're good. So that is your who needs what in college football. Very short and simple. So as I said, I have at this point 4 locks. And one's a Friday, Saturday, one's a Thursday, Friday, one's a Friday, Sunday, one's a Friday, Saturday. So I got a lock today and a lock tomorrow. And so 4 locks total, and 2 of them are 30 units. I can definitely say I'm definitely going to play Alabama. I mean, there's no Auburn's okay. No, it's a big rivalry, but see the difference is Alabama wins, they're in because Georgia is playing Georgia Tech. They have 1 loss. Alabama will have 2, so Georgia will leapfrog them. But like Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State doesn't need it. Do they want it? Of course. They're tired of losing to Michigan, but this is the point. As far as needing the game, Ohio State can lose. They're still, okay, they won't be ranked number 1 anymore. I think if they lose, that goes to Texas Tech. They're really the best team. I hate when they use record because they lost when their quarterback was out. They haven't lost with their quarterback. They have an NFL defense, and they're a great team. So anyway, that's college. We'll go through everything tomorrow since there's 1 game today. Memphis and Navy. Yeah, Navy needs it. Memphis 4.5, 58.5. I don't know why they're playing on Thursday when the pros are playing. Lions game starts in 5 minutes, so we will end in 5 minutes. I just wanted to recap that. Again, there's an Andy Scheckman video. See, I have problems with my S's. So this video here, it's not long, 12 minutes. I'm not going to play it today, maybe tomorrow. Basically, what he's saying is there's no silver. It's gone. China doesn't have any. India doesn't have. BRICS doesn't have any. And Russia and China and India are buying the shit out of silver. So when these idiots short it on COMEX, what happens is they short it and they go and they buy it and want delivery. And the reason they're doing that is they're getting it on sale. They're just like I tell you, it's on sale at $53 an ounce. They're buying it at $53 an ounce. So anyway, that's what it is. So for Christmas, just go buy like a pound of silver, as much. Buy real silver. Don't buy the, I don't see the need to buy the old, what do they call it? Garbage silver, the mercury dimes and the quarters and stuff, the junk silver. Don't waste your time with that. First of all, it's not $9.99. I guess it's 90%. And, you're really going to have trouble because who's going to buy it? All right, mercury dimes, I know they're not worth much. The quarters, the $50, you don't know that they're silver or not because it doesn't say it. So you're going to struggle selling that stuff, right? So you're better off buying the 1 ounce isn't much, the 1 ounce silver is not much more, it's not that expensive at this point. Now it will be when it's $1,000 an ounce, you're going to be glad you bought it versus now as far as it's for Tomahawk missiles and for solar panels and all that shit, I don't really care. You cannot control the market price once it's physical. The demand will overwhelm it because people will need it as money, not to make fucking Tomahawk missiles. And I don't care it's an AI or IA or whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter. You can't control the price, and they'll have to go to another metal than silver. So they'll go to nickel or copper or whatever. But you can't keep the price down so you can build Tomahawk missiles, no matter what you want, defense contractors, because this is not a U.S. price. This is a world price. And once China and Russia get it, think about it. Don't they want the price to go up so we can't make Tomahawk missiles? Right? So if it's for the defense contractors, of course they're going to want a higher price. This is not a U.S. price. COMEX is a U.S. price, but it's a world price. And that's what Scheckman misses. He keeps thinking, well, they're not trying to keep the price down. He said they're trying to keep the price down for certain reasons. But think about who else has it. China, Russia are trying to keep the price up. So you can't build the Tomahawks and whatever else you're trying to build. So keep in mind, this is a world price. This is not a U.S. price. And they're letting COMEX go because it keeps the price cheap for them so they can buy more. But I'm telling you, they're running out of gold and silver to buy. And I'm certainly not giving up my silver at $53 an ounce. Maybe at $5.30, I'll give up an ounce or two. I'm not playing this game to make profit on it and sell it, because then I go back onto the Titanic and sink, because this is worthless. There was a thing that these idiots think that you can just print as much as you want because you're the reserve currency. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, I can eat all the ice cream I want because I'm the reserve currency. I mean, no, you can't. There's a point where you print and it's too much and it makes the dollar worthless. We're way past that point. And the petrodollar collapsing hasn't helped. And the FX with BRICS trading amongst each other and not using the US, especially China and Russia and Iran and India and Saudi Arabia. I mean, they take yuan for oil now. So with all the money that's not using the US dollar, that's coming home to roost. That's a big problem. So I'm not buying that. Silver's, again, it's a world price. Don't forget that. So buy as much as you can at these cheap prices, $53. I know if I get the Indian or the other silver, that's not the Liberty $1. I love they put $1 on it. It's worth 53. Who in the hell is gonna if I can buy it for $1, that's one thing. But if it costs me 53 to buy, I'm selling it at 500. But this is not a profit take game. This is a get out of dollar game. You're getting out of dollars into real money that can't be printed and inflated and worthless. So you're gold in it, and you just want to, you want to hoard it. You want as much as you can. The more you got, the better it is. It's like food. You want to, when the food supply goes out, you want to have as much food as you can. You don't know how long you'll need it for. And you don't know how long you'll need the gold and silver. Hopefully they come out with the gold-backed currency is the only hope we have. But otherwise, they're not ruining the financial system. They're ruining the dollar. They are destroying the dollar, not the system. There's a big difference there. You're killing the fiats, fine, but it ain't Bitcoin that's going to save you. It's only real money, gold and silver. And if we have to take BRICS money, I'll take BRICS money that's backed by gold. Doesn't matter to me as long as it spends. So that's about it. So let's take our last look at gold and silver. Oh, I'll leave you with this Roman hidden engineer, and then we'll look at that.
Roman engineers built foundations made of wooden piles when the ground was too deep or too waterlogged to reach solid bedrock. This technique involved driving a dense field of piles into the soil at regular intervals, creating a wide contact surface, and therefore exceptional strength. To do this, the timber supports were hammered into place by a pile driver installed on a floating platform. Once the piles reached firm layers underground, engineers built a wooden frame around them and poured concrete into it. The concrete spread the load evenly across the entire field of piles, forming a large, solid, and stable slab on which the structure could rise. This solution allowed the Romans to build on riverbeds, marshes, and even open sea. Each pile was cut from a sturdy timber trunk, shaped to a point and strengthened by fire hardening. Once driven underwater, they were sealed away from oxygen, effectively stopping any rot and giving the foundation an extraordinary lifespan. Here's what nobody...
Aren't the Romans like the clever? It's sad that there's no more Roman Empire. Look at what they were building, 2,100 or 2,000 years ago. They're building all this. How are they doing it? I couldn't tell you, but just fascinating. Let's see. So I will leave you with our latest and greatest gold price, 41.58 roughly. Now, I don't know. It's still going. I would think the market would close with Thanksgiving, and 53.45 silver. So get this as soon as possible. You're not going to see it at 30 or 40 anymore. It's 53 headed to 100, headed to 500. And this is 41.58 headed to 5,000, headed to 25,000 and higher. You can't say it's going to be 20, 25. You can just, it's going there. But we don't know when the end ramp is. It's much, much higher than that. And then we got to worry about the dollar collapsing. Okay, the gold's worth 20,000, but there is no dollars. And then we use the gold to buy a house and a car. And that's where it's really going to kick in. So gold is king. You'll be king with gold and silver. You'll be able to eat and buy houses and cars and everything else. And there won't be money. So you don't have to pay your credit cards or your mortgage back because there's nothing to pay it back with. So anyway, enjoy the football. Enjoy the gold. Go buy some silver. The stores are probably closed today. But have a good day. So if you need me, email me, www.teaserking.com. We'll have my email on the homepage. And if you want, there's still 4 locks going. I got 1 lock going today with, I think with the Saturday or Sunday game. I think it's with the Sunday game. Anyway, lock today, lock tomorrow, and your free play tomorrow is Philadelphia, and your free play in college is Texas A&M over, which is tomorrow. So that 51.5 is a joke. Unless there's some hurricane or tornado coming in, which if we see the line go down to 48, I'll start sweating. Let's take a look at the line. It's up to 52.5. So get it while you can. Get it while it's hot. All right. Looks like the Lion game has started. So go enjoy, eat your turkey, and have a good day, everybody. So happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for coming by and saying hello. And I will talk to you tomorrow, normal time, Friday. But we do have early, I think the Mississippi State game starts at noon or something. So it'll probably be a 10 to noon tomorrow with the 10 to noon on Saturday and 11 to 1 on Sunday. It's a busy week because I had to study for the Thursday and Friday games. All right. Take care, everybody. Good luck. Win a lot of money, and have a good holiday.